the Batman 2 first look. I have no idea how much he's actually going to have here, but let's check it out, guys. Emergency Awesome is usually pretty good, so I love those retro DC logos.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. DC just confirmed that Sebastian Stan is playing Harvey Dent, Two-Face, during the Batman 2 movie.
Sweet.
And Scarlett Johansson also joined the movie as a new villain that they haven't done
nice.
in any
Last I heard, that was all rumors, so cool.
previous Batman movies. I know people asking now, are they quitting Marvel to come to DC? That's not exactly what's happening. Kevin Feige and James Gunn are actually pretty cool right now. But it does kind of seem like a lot of Marvel actors are now coming to DC. Also doesn't bode well for Bucky surviving Avengers Doomsday either. Matt Reeves just gave a big preview of the movie a little while ago, so we'll break it all down and some of the larger things that they're setting up in the movie, because some of it will seem familiar.
Okay.
There was also some recent news on James Gunn's DCU Batman because of what he's doing in Superman 2, Man of Tomorrow. We'll also explain that later in the video too.
Wait, what does he mean by that? Is Batman going to be involved in Superman 2? I don't want that. We've already been talking about Wonder Woman. I don't want another Batman versus Superman, Wonder Woman, whatever movie. I just want a Superman sequel, guys. I just want a Superman sequel by himself.
Because there is a lot of DC stuff happening this year and next year.
For sure.
So if you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos.
Absolutely subscribe to Emergency Awesome, and don't forget to subscribe to my brand new superhero reaction channel.
This is Matt Reeves talking about the Batman 2 movie.
That pushes even further into the character of Bruce Wayne, because the first story is so much about the Batman.
Right.
Let's say we get to make 3, and I have no idea, but if we get to make 3, I always
he's already pushing 3. That's that's cool. Okay, so he's okay. All right. Okay.
Wanted the movies to be focused on his character, and so that is really what we set our aim on. And so picking the right villain that digs into what that does, that sort of goes into his past and his life, it's never really been done in a movie before. So we're excited.
All right.
What he's actually talking about is that we're going to get way more Bruce Wayne in the movie compared to Batman, as we saw in the first movie.
Let me know how you feel about that, because, big Superman guy here. I wanted more Clark Kent in Superman 2025. I really like it when Clark and Lois investigate stuff together and solve the crime so that Superman knows where to go. And, we didn't really get that very much at all. Lois kind of did all the investigating on her own because Superman was down for the count. Man of Tomorrow is going to be a Lex and Superman movie. So I really don't see much Clark being there either. I'm kind of disappointed, but I don't really know how much Batman fans want to see Bruce versus Batman. Let me know in the comments.
Like a lot of Batman movies, as he says, deal mostly with the Batman origin story, then mostly you jump to the villain arcs and you just deal with that dynamic. But he wanted to dig deeper into the mind of Bruce Wayne.
I like
so
that.
The movie will feature way more Bruce Wayne, and that will mirror Two-Face Harvey Dent's arc in the movie as well, too, as he deals with becoming Two-Face probably by the end of the movie.
Now, old superhero shows used to be that way, focusing on the alternate identity more. Probably because of budget and stuff, but like the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk show, he only turned into Hulk like once a show. You know what I mean? That's kind of cool. It adds a lot of suspense and stuff whenever you get to that superhero part.
But when he mentions the villain that's never been done before on screen, what he's talking about is Scarlett Johansson's character, who I'll talk about in a second.
Okay.
The whole reason why they announced Sebastian Stan was joining the movie as Harvey Dent in Scarlett Johansson as this surprise villain is because they're about to start filming. They're going to be filming around the same time that James Gunn is filming the Superman 2 Man of Tomorrow movie. So a lot of DC stuff is filming right now. I know there's a lot of questions about how the Warner Brothers...
It's funny, a lot of people are saying DC's dead on arrival. They're doing a lot of filming for it to be dead on arrival. A lot of filming. I say a lot of people are saying it. Some people are saying it. But they're doing a lot of filming for it to be dead on arrival. I am excited for this DCU. I liked Superman. I'm not excited for the direction of Man of Tomorrow so far. I may enjoy the movie, but I'm not excited that it's not just going to be a full-on Superman sequel.
Netflix deal is going to affect all of this stuff with the Batman and the Superman movie plans over the next couple of years, just DC plans in general. But for the most part, it does seem like the Netflix Warner Brothers buyout will eventually go down, but it is going to take years for that to finish. And even if
that is what I've said from the beginning, guys. These deals, that like I worked for a radio station years ago, and I was the news director there, and there was a guy that was going to buy the station. Well, he had in the contract, he got to run the station for a year to see if it was a viable financial thing. He ran it for a year, did auctions, made a ton of money off of it, and decided, nah, I'm not going to buy it. Yeah, he knew what he was doing. So these companies, though they probably have better clauses for that kind of thing not to happen, they know what they're doing. They're not just going to buy something and then find out, oh, this thing's losing, 30% of it, a profit a year, they're going to figure it out. And I mean, it takes a long time for this stuff to happen. I've been saying that from the beginning.
Netflix did want to change the way that they're doing the DC movies and what they're doing with the movies in general. They would have to wait years to be able to do that. So all these movies will come out long before that happens.
Yeah.
And to boot, Netflix claims, they at least claims if you believe them, that they're not going to touch any of the creative.
Man, that suit always looks good everywhere except on David Corn's sweat. What is the deal? It looks fantastic right there. Just absolutely fantastic.
And they're going to leave everything intact. So James Gunn gets to keep his job. Peter Safran, the co-president of DC with him, gets to keep his job. And they get to do whatever they originally planned with the DC movies. Netflix claims that they're not going to mess with any of that. Okay. So all the stuff that James Gunn said he was going to do, he's going to do. And if stuff changes, it's because he wanted to change it, not because Netflix is making him change stuff.
I hope that's true, I guess. I don't...
But it also means, for right now, James Gunn has said he's letting Matt Reeves do whatever he wants with his Batman movies. They're going to let them make a trilogy, so there will be a Batman 3 eventually. Like, who knows how long that's going to take, probably another 5 or 6 years. And he's not going to force Robert Pattinson into the DCU if Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson...
Every time I see that picture, I think, when did they get together? No, it's just two pictures side by side. It just happens to look really good together.
And don't want that. So for now, it still seems like there will be a separate Batman inside the DCU that James Gunn will cast in the next couple of years. More on that at the end of the video, because we actually did learn about what's going on with him just in general in the DCU. The important thing to remember with Sebastian Stan in the Batman 2 is that he's joining the movie as Harvey Dent. He probably won't become Two-Face, get the acid thrown in his face, till the very end of the movie.
Yeah.
Within the context of Matt Reeves' Batman movie's overarching story, they set up in the
setting up for that number 3 he was talking about.
First movie,
Matt
then
Reeves,
continued in the Penguin series, like this running story. The original district attorney, Gil Colson, was killed by the Riddler because he was corrupt. Harvey Dent is meant to be his replacement, so that's where he enters the story. So Harvey Dent starts the Batman 2 working for Gotham City, trying to prosecute the larger criminals, the mob. For the most part, in Matt Reeves' Batman universe, the mob is still like the real big villain.
Okay.
We have the Riddler, we have the Joker. The Joker is also supposed to come back in the movie too, but largely it hasn't turned into like full-blown comic book Batman situation yet with like crazy supervillains all over the place. The new mayor, Bella Real, declared war on organized crime and corruption at the end of the first movie and during the Penguin series.
Good luck.
Then during the Penguin series, the Penguin seizes control of Carmine Falcone's organization in former territory and becomes one of the new major crime bosses in Gotham, more like comic book Penguin. So we're like heading in that comic book direction. At the very end of that series, they tease the consequence of that is the bat signal lighting up.
So this will be canon together, is that right? I don't know. Put it in the comments.
And this guy, implying that he is back on Batman's radar. Colin Farrell said that he was only in the Batman 2 movie a little. He's not a main character like he was during the first movie. But because we know that they're going to do the Harvey Dent Two-Face transformation by the end of the movie, what they can do is have Bella Real sick Harvey Dent on Penguin as district attorney to try and take him down and dismantle organized crime in the city like you would normally expect.
So that's what we're theorizing, right?
District attorney to do, and because we know that the Penguin has an absolutely wild temper, gets really violent and unpredictable when he's backed into a corner, they can just have the Penguin be the one to throw the acid in Harvey Dent's face. So when the Batman 3 movie picks up, Sebastian Stan has been Two-Face for a little while already.
Tim Burton, Batman, and Batman Returns. Those were big movies for me as a kid growing up.
Same.
I was obsessed with Batman Returns in particular. I actually really like Batman Forever as well.
I like Batman Forever a lot.
I was obsessed with Jim Carrey, so the Riddler.
Exactly. Jim Carrey kind of made that movie. He was absolutely fantastic, and his goofiness was not too much. It was what that character needed.
The really important reminder is that Harvey Dent is not meant to be the villain of the Batman 2. It sounds like he's going to be Batman and Bruce Wayne's ally during the film. They'll be trying to work together to deal with the mystery villain in the film. This is actually where Scarlett Johansson comes in. She is supposed to be this mystery villain that they haven't done in the live-action movies before, too. The new reports are that she's playing Gilda Dent, Harvey Dent's mentally unstable wife. To be fair, Harvey Dent also not completely mentally stable as well, too. Matt Reeves said a long time ago that his movies, he calls it the Batman Epic Crime Saga, like that's an internal name for the
Do
actual
y'all think that's a good part for her? Let me know in the comments.
cinematic universe, was largely inspired by The Long Halloween story. During The Long Halloween, before Harvey Dent becomes Two-Face and turns evil, there's a series of murders in Gotham perpetrated by someone called the Holiday Killer. It's later revealed that Gilda Dent, his wife, was the Holiday Killer, and he never knew when it was happening. He only finds out later.
Oh.
One of the more tragic aspects of the story, too, is that him turning into Two-Face winds up being one of the consequences of the larger mystery murder plot that Gilda Dent winds up getting involved in, when originally you learned that she had noble intentions with becoming the Holiday Killer. Very twisted, mentally unstable ideas, but she had noble intentions. Batman
could do
learns
that.
the whole reason why she started the holiday murders was because she thought that if Harvey Dent, her husband, wasn't so busy trying to deal with the mob, organized crime, Carmine Falcone, like the larger problems of Gotham, then they would have time to start a normal family together and have a baby. So she thought that her actions would lead to the downfall of Carmine Falcone and the downfall of organized crime in the city. But ultimately, it just winds up making things way, way worse. So this is why Scarlett Johansson will be the actual surprise villain of the movie, but a tragic villain. Not like a typical comic book villain like you would expect. If you read The Long Halloween, you kind of understand the vibes behind Gilda Dent. They actually did an animated Long Halloween movie adaptation in 2 parts a while ago. It was 2 movies. Jensen Ackles played Batman. So if you want to see Jensen Ackles as Batman, this is probably the closest we'll get. He was actually going to play Arrowverse Batman for a little while back in the day.
Really?
Stephen Amell said that they tried to make it happen for a long time, but this was during the era where DC
I
was
didn't know
really
that.
hardcore about not letting Batman be in live action on TV, and they only made a brief exception for the Gotham TV show, where
Would you like to see Jensen Ackles as Batman? Let me know in the comments. He's good at a lot of stuff, but I don't know if I buy him as Bruce Wayne. I'm not sure.
they gave it the Smallville ending, where like at the end of Smallville, they put Tom Welling in the Superman suit finally, but
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. It was stupid. They put him in a little shirt. It wasn't even the real thing. And then whenever he flew, it was some sort of CGI TV. I've heard that episode described as like the biggest satisfaction of 10 years. No, it was a major disappointment.
only at the very end of the finale, and they did the same thing for Batman in the Gotham series. Making the obligatory 6 degrees of separation supernatural connection to Misha Collins also played live-action Two-Face during the Gotham Knights TV show.
Nice.
They're going to have their supernatural reunion during The Boys Season 5. Jensen Ackles, Jared Padalecki, and Misha Collins, but that's a completely separate thing. I'll do separate videos about that.
He was supposed to be a recurring character, but they saw his performance.
And that was it. Just one and done.
There have recently been reports that Matt Reeves is also introducing the Court of Owls in the Batman 2 and will use both the Bruce Wayne story because his ancestors who helped found Gotham City were also founding members of the Court of Owls, and Harvey Dent's abusive father, who was a politician, is also connected to
That's
the
so
Court of
creepy
Owls.
looking.
Harvey Dent himself was never a member of the Court of Owls. But I think part of the idea is that they're going to use his alcoholic, abusive politician father to show some of Harvey Dent's backstory and why he's so mentally unstable
Yeah, that
and
seems
what
smart.
causes him to turn into Two-Face, in addition to getting acid thrown in his face. Like, it wasn't just getting acid thrown in his face.
That is a good catalyst, though. That's a good way to take somebody who's on the edge of going insane and being like, this is the thing that makes them go, I'm no longer going to try. Or the thing that says, this will be the side that is like legit cool and good and fun, and this is the side that is evil. That's not quite his dichotomy, but you get what I'm saying.
That made him turn into Two-Face. He was already mentally unstable. So you see how Harvey Dent's traumatic childhood, his upbringing, informed his transition to Two-Face, and how that parallels Batman's traumatic childhood with his transition to Batman. Like, both of them had very traumatic childhoods, and it just drives them to different places, where Batman never quite crosses the line. Like, Bruce Wayne turns into Batman, but he almost but never quite crosses the line. And Harvey Dent isn't ultimately able to overcome his trauma, and that does cause him to cross the line and become a full-blown villain.
Well, Batman, though, also doesn't have the same type of trauma. Batman had good parents. You know, Batman had, he just lost them, you know? So he was able to funnel that. Whereas Two-Face's, it happened, you know, he didn't have anything taken away from him. He just never had it.
Batman has a history of playing mentally unstable characters who are pushed over the line with identity issues. Addressing the Avengers Doomsday-size elephant in the room, this does not bode well for Winter Soldier during the events of Avengers Doomsday. Scarlett Johansson also supposed to return in either Doomsday or Avengers Secret Wars for some kind of role, some alternate version of Natasha Black Widow. They're bringing back all the classic Avengers actors in different ways.
That can be good and that can be bad. It all depends. If they're doing it for a cash grab, that can be bad. If they've actually come up with good ideas and are like, hey, this would work, that's good.
Big DCU Batman report recently is that he's supposed to get mentioned in a much bigger...
That I'm excited about.
The really big DCU Batman report recently is that he's supposed to get
mentioned... As a kid, I was a Cyclops guy. I liked Cyclops as a kid. Of course, I liked Wolverine. I loved Gambit. But Cyclops I liked a lot too, and that'll be fun to see. A lot of people have complained about him not having his yellow trunks. I'm okay. The yellow trunks is probably not going to fit with this. I don't even know what that thing he wears is. I've never known.
In a much bigger way during the Man of Tomorrow movie, because James Gunn is using that movie to roll in even more bigger characters, like Wonder Woman is supposed to make an appearance in the movie. But Batman is not supposed to appear on screen in a DCU movie until Batman Brave and the Bold, so he's only going to get mentioned during Man of Tomorrow. The movie seems like it's not going to come out till 2028, 2029. That is the Batman Brave and the Bold movie, so it's going to be a while before we actually see him in live action.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Everybody post all your reactions in the comments below, and let me know what you wanted to do with Sebastian Stan's Harvey Dent and Two-Face character during the Batman 2 and the Batman 3 movie.
Yeah, let us know.
The really big stuff right now, 2026, is the Supergirl movie setting up the Man of Tomorrow.
I read Woman of Tomorrow. That's why I'm excited about that. And I feel like the trailer really catered to Woman of Tomorrow people, but the way James Gunn's talking, it won't be a one-to-one, which I didn't expect a one-to-one. Just from the trailer alone, but it does look close. It looks like there's a lot of the similar things in there.
There's a Clayface movie come out later this year, but it's a prequel set in the DCU. We'll see which other characters pop up in that. But the Lanterns episodes are also coming later this year. That seems like it's going to be pretty fire. So big Green Lantern HBO series coming pretty soon.
That seems like
I've already done a trailer video for that. Click here for that video, and click here for my Man of Tomorrow first look video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
If y'all want me to react to one of those videos, let me know. I'm really interested more in Lanterns and obviously Man of Tomorrow stuff, of course. And don't forget to check out my Amazon store. You can find all your Superman stuff in one place. And guys, remember, like Superman, live humbly, do good.